Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Amma ba'd. Topic of last week's carrying on, sir, where to reduce the love of this world and to have more love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and more love for the year after. Concerning that, Hazrat Abu Sayyid Khudri narrates from Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Said Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sat on a mimbar and he was giving us a talk. And in that talk he explained to us the thing which I fear more about you after me is that when the world will come in front of you with all its pomp and glory, and it will get lost in it. So yeah, the meaning of this is that after Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam leave the world, then the Muslims will conquer many other countries of the world, and the wealth of that world, the pomp and glory of this world will be open to everybody, and because of that, each one will start competing with one another. With the result, they will violate the rights of one another, and this will be harmful for your deen, in other words. So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam from before, he warned us that this will happen, and at that time you look after yourself. Don't get engrossed into this world, so much into this world that you spoil your akhirah, spoil your deen. And from here we can understand and see also, as history has proven it, that as long as the Muslims were attached to the deen, they were progressing. And the minute they were involved in the luxuries of this world, then this where the government also, Islamic government also got weak and got destroyed also. And if you look at history also, the leaders of the Muslim countries, they were more involved in luxury than anything else, and competing with one another. As a result, their unity got disturbed, and the Muslim government got finished also at the same time. So Nabi Kareem warned us from before concerning this, which shows that it is important that our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must be more over everything, Another hadith here, Abu Sayyid Khudri narrates from Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, says that this world is very enticing, it is very attractive, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the government to other people. The government will come to you also, after it will come to you also. At that time, Allah will test you also at the same time. That and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned us and said, save yourself from the fitna of this world and save yourself from the fitna of woman. So two things Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned us: the fitna of this world and the fitna of woman. In other words, these two things are a source of our destruction. If you keep it within limits, then you got no problem. But you go exceed the limits, then it will be a problem. Yet, when said the world is very attractive, the pomp and glory of the world is such that the person attracted towards it and want to experience the luxuries of this world, the comforts of this world, and that time what will happen? We forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it must be within limits. The world is there for us to fulfill our needs, not to get attracted towards it. Once our needs is fulfilled, then we'll go forward. We will go. For example, I was explaining, say, when you go somewhere, when you go for a dawat, and they never give pan, they give after the meal they give. Or they give sweets, for example, for us to eat. It doesn't mean you're going to take all the sweets from the tray and eat everything. You eat how much you need, you take. The others will leave in the tray and give for others. The same manner the world also had. How much you need, so much you take, and remember leave for somebody else. Then you got no problem. Once you have greed of this world, then that will become means of destruction. It will become. And the second thing mentioned here is that the government is in other people's hand at the moment. A time will come when the government will come into your hands also. At that time, a test will come for you. That before the Sahab mentioned that when there was poverty amongst us, then we didn't have so much of problem. And that test was very easy for us. But when wealth came to us, that test was very severe for us. To control ourselves on that was very great mujahidah for us. To show that when wealth comes to the person, at that time he must keep himself under control and don't trespass the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third thing mentioned here is that Allah Ta'ala is going to test you also. A time will come when Allah Ta'ala will test you in two things. One is the love of this world, and another is woman. So a person is going to fall into this luxuries of this world, then at that time he will trespass the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that will be harmful for him, which he could be very careful about it. When Al-Nabi Karim has warned us from before already, so we could take an account of ourselves, assessment of ourselves, and see how much are we engrossed in these things. If we keep ourselves and check on ourselves, then we will find that the love of the world will become less, and love of Allah Ta'ala will become more. Otherwise, wherever the command of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is, we'll give preference to the commands of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and we won't get ourselves involved in the world so much. In other words, when you acquire the world, you acquire the world in a halal manner. What is halal, jais for us, we'll out of all those means to acquire the world. And we won't adopt haram methods, haram avenues to acquire the world. At the same time, when we acquire the world also, now to spend that wealth we have got also, we'll spend in the halal avenues. We won't spend the wealth Allah has given to us in haram avenues also. So the test from both ways, how you earn your wealth, how you spend your wealth also. Both ways is a test for us in the world. And at the same time, we know that the women are a means of distraction and attraction for us also at the same time, right? And to fall into fitna, fall into disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to break the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we keep ourselves under control, then we'll be saved. And that is why Shariat has put forward the laws of parda for us. When the person maintains the laws of parda, then he don't fall into the deception of the woman. But when they violate the laws of parda, then that's where you'll find that he'll fall into deception of the woman and fall into guna, into disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One day one person came to one Buzurg and told him that why is this? That men can go out and women will sit in the house. Why is this? That doesn't look fair. So Buzurg explained to him that when you go outside, you see the iron outside, lying outside, nothing happens to the iron. Even though rain falls, so the iron, nothing happens to it. The rust will come on top, but once you put it into fire, the rust will go away, iron will remain as it is. The quality and the price of the iron will remain the same. It won't change. But at the same time, you'll find, you go to a jewelry shop, you'll find that the jeweler has got so much of expensive jewelry, he won't leave it outside. He won't leave the shop open also. He'll put it into the safe, and also in the safe in the safe, he'll put it in and keep it there safe, that nobody must steal it. Otherwise, the value will get less. So show that women are like that you've got to keep them and safe, you keep them, that nobody can get attracted by them and steal them or harm them in any way. So the laws of parda is there for us to safeguard our iman also, and to save us from falling into any fitna and disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anas narrates from the Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that the true life is the life of the year after. That's why you find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given everybody capabilities and capacity to do work. If the person uses that capacity and capabilities to achieve the year after, then he's successful. The same capacity he uses to acquire the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he's not successful then. So Allah has given everybody the capabilities and the capacity to do something and to choose what is right and what is wrong. That's why you'll find the human beings are different from other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they got everything, but they haven't got understanding, they haven't got intelligence, they haven't got intellect, they haven't got reasoning within themselves, they haven't got that in them. And human being, Allah has given them all this great gift, or that the person can understand and decide and choose things again. So we are given the option to choose what is right and what is wrong. And if we don't utilize that option that Allah has given to us, that ni'mat Allah has given to us, then we'll be losers. So we try and always choose that which is beneficial for us. And we all know this world is only temporary. The world will go away, but the world will remain. When afterwards, when the after will come, that's permanent. That is now. So a wise person will think in this manner. There's something which is temporary, something we're not going to stay forever and ever. Why choose something which will disturb our permanent life? So it's important that we understand how to choose what is right and what is wrong, and that will bring us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the purpose of our creation is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran also that the man and the jinn are both created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's our purpose and object in life, is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means one is to make that ibadat, and one is to choose our way of life according to the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We choose our way of life according to the way of the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is also called ibadat after that. So as human beings, our responsibility is that to choose our way of life in obedience of Allah, the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, Hazrat Anas narrates from the Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says that when a person passes away, then three things follows him. One is his family people and relatives. Second is his wealth, and third is his good actions. So when a person is lowered into the grave, then at that time now two of that comes back and one remains with him. The family and relatives will come away from there. Friends will come away from there. And at the same time his wealth also will come away from there. And what will stay with him in the grave is his actions, his deeds. So from here we can understand very well, and is a reality we can see also, that when the person passes away, he takes nothing with him. He only takes his good actions with him. That's all he takes with him. So a wise person will decide and think how to conduct his life. If you want to pay more attention to your relatives, pay more attention to your friends, pay more attention to the wealth you've got now, how long is it going to last with you? It will stay with you till there's life in your body. When the eyes is closed, that will remain behind. You're not going to benefit from this. It doesn't belong to you at all after that. But what we have spent in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that belongs to you now. It will stay with you in your grave also, and after all it will stay with you. If you got family, friends, relatives you encourage them to follow the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Shariat, follow the Shariat now. If they become neck and pious, that piety will remain with you in the grave also, will remain with you also. But if you don't look after your children, your families, your relatives, you don't teach them deen, and they adopt the life of disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that will become a means of destruction for you in the after also. It's important that these things that is mentioned in the hadith, we pay attention towards it. It's got a meaning attached to it, that our relatives and friends also, we can make an effort on them to stay on deen. At the same time, our wealth must be halal also, and spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will help us. If our relatives and our friends are all neck and pious, the day we leave the world, they'll make isal sawab for us. Whatever good work they're going to do, what we taught them, we're going to get rewarded for that also. That will remain with us in the grave also with us. So these are all the benefits which and analyze this hadith, we come to understand all those things. So yeah, when a person passes away, when his janazah is taken to the graveyard, then we find his children also are with him also, his relatives are with him also, his friends also with him, intend to join him, and at the same time his wealth also goes with him. In the time of ignorance, people should take whatever the wealth the person had, they should take it with it to the Qabristan also. And after they bury the person, then they bring their wealth back home also, and should bring the people should come home also. So this was being mentioned here, that at that time the custom was we should take the wealth of and show this so much wealth this person had. Now he's going away. And another custom they had was that the bed on which the person should sleep, that bed should put him on that bed and should take the Qabristan over that bed should take him. So these were all the customs of those times. But now the things have changed now. Now we've got our Badal society, we have the hearses, they have whatever it is. So things have changed now completely is different now at the moment. But still too, sometimes you find that the sheet we use, or sometimes the sheet belongs to the family people, it belongs. Especially when there's a female, they take the sheet for making part down over the grave, that belongs to the family again, it belongs. So it's part of his wealth in other words. So yeah, at that time, when the person is buried, put into the grave, then the family comes back also, the wealth come back also. Or if the wealth is at home, the wealth will remain behind. In other words, the family and wealth will remain behind after the person passes away. What will go with him is his good actions. Whatever good deeds he's done, that will go with him in the grave. So here, in other words, I encourage here to have less love for the world and have more love for the hereafter. To such actions that will take us to that will benefit us in the hereafter, and don't do those things that will be harmful for you in the hereafter. Here in another hadith, Anas narrates from Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on the day of Qiyamah, Allah Ta'ala get one of the people who are doomed for Jahannam, he'll choose one of them and bring them out, and this person is the person who enjoyed the luxuries of the world to the maximum. He had no worries in the world. He only enjoyed the world, had no problems at all, whatever it is. So Allah will take him and tap him a little while in the Jahannam and take him out and ask him, did you see did you witness any comfort and happiness? And take custom to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've never ever experienced any type of comfort or happiness at all. Then Allah will take one a person who is supposed to go to Jannah. He'll take him and tap him into Jannah for a little while and bring him out again. So did you ever experience any difficulties? So he'll take custom and said, I never experienced any type of difficulties. In other words, the Jahannam was such, it was so severe that the person forgot all the luxuries of the world, what he enjoyed in the world. And the luxuries of Jannah was such that the person forgot all the hardships of the world, he'll forget. It shows that how a person will live in Jannah and how the person will live in Jahannam, in other words. If a person sacrifices in this world, then the year after he'll get comfort, he'll get in the year after. And a person don't sacrifice in this world, then you won't get comfort in the year after. So in here also this means that when you dip somebody into water, how long does it take? It takes like one breath only. You can't, before you take the next breath, it comes out. So just for there's a little while, a person put in Jahannam, imagine what feeling he's got after that. That the luxuries of this world is nothing. I haven't experienced anything like luxuries at all. And a person has so much of difficulties in this world, and I put him to Jannah for a little while. What will he say now? He said, no, I don't ever experience any type of difficulties at all in this world. So much of comfort was in that, and in Jannah, in other words. So here, and this hadith also shows that to have less love for this world, have more love for the year for the year after. So this world is not a place for enjoyment or merrymaking or to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but this world is here for us to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you'll find in the world, in the Quran also you'll find different topics of this type, drawing our attention towards the year after. How important it is to prepare for the year after. What will happen in the year after. And in the world, the custom of the world is, whenever a case comes up, then you want witnesses to prove whether you did or you never do it. And Sharia also has got that. And when you go to the court, you will want two witnesses at least to prove what has been done, taken place at the time. But Allah kept the same system in the year after also. When you're in the year after, also when Allah will ask, tell you, explain that you have done this guna, first will refuse. How? I never do the guna. But when the books of deeds were put in front of him, now you can't refuse at all. But after then Allah will say, right now the tongue must keep quiet, now the body parts must speak. The body part will also say he committed this guna. Then the ground, when he committed the ground also will give witness he committed the guna. Now he'll have no choice but to accept whatever he has done now. Then he'll see shaitan in front of him. He'll say, the shaitan did disturb you to do wrong things. And shaitan will say, I never disturb you to do wrong things. I never tell you. I will show you the comforts and ease of the world, whatever it is. I never tell you to do it. You chose yourself to that type of life. So there also shaitan won't support him at all there. So it's important to understand that Allah has given us a choice how to choose what is right and what is wrong. And if we don't make a proper choice, then we're going to lose out then. The day of Qiyamah, shaitan is not going to look after us. He's not going to support us at all. So we've got to be very careful how we conduct our life. Shaitan only encourages us to do wrong things. He doesn't force us to do wrong things. One day a person asked shaitan, why you trouble everybody and lead people astray everything? Say, I don't lead people astray. Say, I only show the people the comfort of the world, how and how to choose a comfortable life. That's all I do. Nothing more than that. Then he said, no, I only put a syrup onto the wall. That's all I see. So he couldn't answer. What's that? He can't show you. Next morning he took him to the shop where they sell mithai. And in mithai they have the big pot they have. And then they made the syrup they make, and then they made the mithai in the. So while he was busy with the syrup in that pot of his, Shaitan went and he stubbed his finger inside and threw it on the wall. I told the Sunday, come, let's see what's happened now. Just sit here. I did nothing. I only did one thing. I did more than that, you see. Now after whatever, now the ants started coming onto the syrup. After a while, the flies started coming onto the syrup. Then after the lizards came to eat the flies now. So one customer came there and saw the lizard and the fly. He said, "How this thing all going to fall into this?" He took his sandal and started eating the fly and the lizard. But the result is a sandal got loose from his hand and fell into the pot. Now what happens now? Now there's a big commotion there now. The owner of the shop now has got an argument with him now, started fighting with him, quarreling with him. And what the result, when the fight got escalated, the customers from outside came, they supported the customer. And the people inside started supporting him, and eventually the police had to come and arrest them and solve the problem, whatever it is. So Shaitan said, I did nothing. People, they choose to do all those things there. I never tell them anything else besides that. So Shaitan only encourages us and put a better picture in front of us that we must choose whatever he says. So as human beings, we got to understand, we got to be very careful how we understand. Allah has given us a shariat, given us a law, given us what to give us guidelines how to conduct our life on earth. If we choose the wrong path, then we are responsible. If we choose the right path, then we are responsible for that also. So we could try and choose, make a proper and good decision that is in our control. That's Allah has given us understanding. Allah has given us. So if you use the understanding in a proper manner, then you're going to benefit. But if you use the understanding in a proper manner, then you're not going to benefit. In another hadith, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions the comparison of this world to the year after is like when you put a finger into the sea or into the river and you take it out, how much water remains on your finger. That's a comparison of it. In other words, when you put your finger, dip your finger into the water, in the sea or river, how much water comes on your finger compared to the water in the sea there. It's very, very minimal. You can't even compare it to that water. So it's in the same manner. He say the comparison of this world to the year after is like that. You see. So when the world has got no comparison to the year after in quality and in quantity also, then an intelligent person will not fall in love with this world. He won't engage in the world so much as fall in akhirat in other words. So this small ahadith when Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explains to us, shows us the value of the year after and shows us what's the value of this world. And for us to choose now what we want. We want eternal happiness of the year after, or we want the temporary benefits of this world. In other words, all this, the hadith is mentioned here in the topics mentioned in this chapter here is all about that whatever we do must have more love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever we do must keep preference to the year after. Don't give preference to this world. Whatever we do, don't break the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever we do, try and have more love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is what we are being taught here. Jabir and from Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, once Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went with us in the bazaar. While we were walking in the bazaar, then he saw there was a small goat lying dead on the ground. So Nabi Karim, and it has small ears. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam picked up that goat and asked the Sahab, who is prepared to buy this goat? Sahaba said, nobody is prepared to buy this. How are you going to buy this goat? Firstly, it's dead also. It's got no value attached to it. Secondly, a goat that's got small ears also got no value. It's alive also. It hasn't got so much value. So nobody is prepared to buy this goat in any way. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu asked him, but if somebody gets it, what happens also? He said, no, we'll never. Even if it's alive, we won't buy such a goat. So then Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained to them that according to you, the value of this goat is nothing, is useless, and when you keep it with you, it will not benefit at all because it's dead. It will start smelling, it will create sicknesses among you. You're not prepared to accept it at all. So in the same manner, according to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, this world has got no value compared to this goat here. So it shows that the goat, when the goat is dead also, it's got no value, nobody's going to take it. and the goat is such, and alive has got no value, then this issue is the more severe. There's no value to that goat, whatever it is. So the world compared to the akhirah is like that. This world has got no value at all. In one hadith also, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say, if the world had any value in the eyes of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, then Allah shouldn't give a fly a drop of water to drink also. So imagine the world hasn't got so much value in the eyes of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So it shows from here that we shouldn't attach ourselves to the world. The luxuries of the world, attraction of the world, whatever it is, we shouldn't get attracted towards it and violate the laws of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So in any way, whatever it is, we got to keep ourselves under control and make proper and wise decisions what we do and how we do conduct our lives. Yeah, in this another hadith here, Abu Zar radiallahu anhu narrates from Nabi. He says that once we were going with Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam at night, I was going with him, and in Medina Munawwara, at that time Medina was very small, and around was a lot of rocky. It was a rocky area. Nabi Sallallahu was going with him out to Medina Munawwara, so much so that they came near Mount Uhud. They came. So when we go to the opposite direction of the Qibla in Medina Munawwara, then find Mount Uhud isn't there. So we came to Mount Uhud, and the Mount Uhud is very a huge big mountain it is. So here Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us as Abu Zar radiallahu anhu, for me this whole mountain is turned into gold and given to me. I wouldn't feel happy to keep it with me for more than 3 days. That I just put everything to the poor, except giving so much for me to fulfill my debts only. So imagine, the Nabi Sallallahu said that the mountain is so big, full of gold, in my possession. I'm so wealthy I can become. I won't feel satisfied. I won't feel comfortable to stay with that wealth in my possessions for 3 days also. And I will give so much to fulfill my debts only, to pay back my debts only. Imagine the love for the world was, and Nabi started to explain that the love of the world is no value it is. The love of the world is what? To give it to the people who are in need of it. Help the people who are in need of it. Then you have fulfilled the rights of the wealth Allah has given to you. And another hadith Nabi mentions here that those people who's got a lot of wealth with them on the day of Qiyamah, they will get little reward. They will get little benefit in the hereafter. But those people who spend in the path of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and Nabi Karim Sallallahu makes signs with his hand that they spend on the right also, on the left also, and they spend freely on the people, then those people will be saved from this. They'll be rewarded in the hereafter, in other words. But Nabi Karim said that such people are very rare, very few people you find of that nature will find. Then Abu Zar says that when Nabi Sallallahu was going further walking, and Nabi Sallallahu was explaining this just to him, he said, now you stay here behind me now, and don't move from the spot here. So he said, I stood at a spot, and Nabi Sallallahu went further, he went towards Mount Uhud, he went carry on. After a little while, I heard some sounds coming. When I heard some sounds, I got very frightened and worried. And Nabi Karim Sallallahu mustn't get disturbed or hurt by anybody. Something comes with a bad intention to Nabi Sallallahu. What are all the sounds going on? So I just tried to move a little bit towards the sound, and immediately I remembered Nabi Sallallahu stressed and said, don't move from the spot at all. I came back and I just stood at the spot and I moved from the spot. After a little while, Nabi Karim Sallallahu came back, and then he told Nabi Karim Sallallahu that I heard some sounds like that, and I got very worried. I wanted to come to help and see what's happening by you, but because you told me not to move from the spot, so I just stayed at the spot here. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu told me to definitely hear the sounds. See, I heard the sounds. So Nabi Sallallahu said that those sounds were the sounds of the Jibreel alayhi salam. He came down to me and brought the glad tidings towards me and told me the person dies in such a condition that doesn't ascribe any partners to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, then that person will go into Jannah. So then, as I asked Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, even if a person commits zina also, even if a person steals also, Nabi Sallallahu said, even if you commit zina, even if he steals also. In other words, this is a glad tiding for the mu'mineen. You've got iman in your heart, even if you commit some guna also, still you will go to Jannah, in other words. That until you pay for your sins, whatever it is, you go to Jannah. And if you ask for forgiveness for the sins, Allah forgive in this world, then you go straight to Jannah, you're going to go. So this shows the the person haven't got love for the world, has got love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in actual reality you'll find a person who doesn't ascribe partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he'll have love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you have love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you won't do something which is against the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You won't do something like that. But sometimes because our nafs, and because of shaitan troubling us, and because of the environment around us, people slip up and make guna if it's slipped up. So when they fall up into guna, then our responsibility is to make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come out of that guna now. So that's what is mentioned here, that a Muslim, once he brings iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this person, he won't do anything against the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if he's going to slip up, then we make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like it was mentioned before, so if a person has invented an ointment, for example, whenever you get hurt or you get cut, whatever it is, and you put it on your body, you get cured immediately. Now the person starts cutting his hand now, cutting his leg now. And ask, what are you doing? Since I got an ointment, I put it on, I'll get better immediately. What to say to that person? That ointment is not for that the purpose you cut yourself. It's for sometimes you're working somewhere and get hurt by chance, by mistake, got hurt now. Now you put ointment and cure yourself. It's for that ointment. It's not to a purpose you can cut yourself and hurt yourself and all that. So same, and also in a mu'min, a person got iman on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, won't commit guna purposely. He will make ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, try to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that process, something slip up and some guna, what was he doing? Now make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will forgive him for that. But purposely to make guna and to become bold from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is not a chant of a mu'min. A mu'min will never do something like that. Purpose that make guna and going against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here in this hadith also Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained to us that so much wealth also a person can have. In spite of that, that person mustn't fall towards get engrossed in the wealth and start disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the purpose of the wealth is to help those people who are less fortunate. People who haven't got, try and help them. The meaning is that, and start put our attention towards that. Whenever a person's got wealth now, and somebody who haven't got, help him to live a comfortable life. Help him not to go and beg. Help him not to go and steal whatever it is. That's the purpose of the wealth Allah has given to us. And for us to stay away from all the types of evil, to ponder over the teachings of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Yeah, in another hadith here, Abu Hurairah narrates from Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, even if the wealth was given wealth as much as the mountain of Uhud, in the form of gold also, I wouldn't be comfortable and happy to keep it with me for 3 days, besides giving so much to just fulfill my debts only. Otherwise, it shows how important it is to a person to make arrangement to fulfill your debts. If you don't make arrangement to fulfill your debts, then there's something wrong there. One hadith Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says the person who never got debts and haven't made arrangement to fulfill his debts, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam reads Janazah Namaz also. So it shows how important it is for us that only debt must be taken at a time of necessity only. Otherwise, we're going to disgrace will go. So it will take debt at a time of necessity also, and that also try and make means to pay back the debt. That's also will make means also. So this is what Muslims trying to explain to us here. So from here we understand the love for the world must be within the limits, and Sharia doesn't stop us from enjoying from the benefits of this world also. And we see that whatever Allah has created is for our benefit. Allah has created us for the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the whole creation is created for our comfort. So it's our responsibility to make ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the whole world is there for our comfort. For example, you find the sky. The sky is so beautiful. The sky has got stars also. The sky has got the moon also. The sky has got the sun also. The sky has got other planets also. What is all that? It's for our benefit. The sun is there to give us warmth. The moon is there to give us coolness. You'll find, and you'll find the day and the night Allah has made for us, for our comfort. Allah has made that. The earth Allah has made for our comfort. The vegetation grows from the earth for our benefit. Everything grows. Imagine if the earth was like quicksand everywhere, how we should live? It wasn't possible for us to live. So Allah made all this creation for our benefit. Everything Allah has made. For example, you find now there's a fruit on a tree must grow. Tree will grow from the ground. The ground made the tree grows, and after that now the fruit will come on the tree now. The fruit comes on the tree now, the sun will make it good, ripen it. And after that you'll find that the moon will give color to it. And the stars will give sweetness to it now. So everything is there for our benefit. Allah has created the whole universe. Allah has created all the animals for our benefit to eat and live also. The vegetation is there for us to eat and live also. So everything Allah has created is for our benefit. For what are we created then? We are created to make ibadat of Allah subhanahu, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our responsibility. But as I was trying to say that insan is so bhola bhara, so simple he thinks that Allah Ta'ala can't fulfill his responsibility of giving us risk, giving us sustenance. So all these busy just acquiring sustenance, risk, work whole day, and forgetting Allah make ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whereas our responsibility is to make ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah's responsibility is to give us sustenance. Allah definitely is giving us sustenance, He's giving us sustenance. So we forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is not correct. Do everything in proportion, then everything will come right. But if you go out of the proportion, then that's where things don't bad for us. So our responsibility is to make ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala make ibadah very little for us. 5 times namaz all you could read in a day, you could read. Not more than that. So that's the minimum ibadah we got to make. If that also we can't do, then there's something wrong with us. Then those people who progress more, and got more love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, want to be more obedient to Allah subhanahu, more faithful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they start reading their sunnat namaz also, they read nafil namaz also, they read extra ibadat they'll make to come more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the minimum ibadat is only 5 farz namaz pass, all it is. And 1 month Roza and Ramzan only 2.5% zakat in 1 year only. It isn't much that also. For example, you've got apple. You're eating apple now. Apple is 100% apple you got now. How much of an apple are you going to eat? You eat whole apple or you only leave the pits behind? And the pits, what's the comparison of the pit to the whole apple now? Very little it is. But at the same time, the pits also you take and put in the ground. It will grow again a tree and give more apples. It's going to give you enough. It's going to give you. So the zakat you're going to give in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grow for you more and more. It will grow for you. It's not going to make your wealth less. So it shows how the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only little fast which you're going to do. And that also we can't do, then there's something wrong with us. So we keep in mind that we got to follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and always increase our ibadat, increase our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, increase our attachment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then we'll find the comfort coming within ourselves. We find that the sukoon coming within ourselves, the contentment coming within ourselves. Then we won't worry of doing wrong things, haram things, we won't worry about those things, but our mind will be always functioning and focused on the right direction. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq for understanding, practicing, and understanding our limits of how to live in this world, how to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We live a life in this world in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and leave the world also in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Ta'ala raise also with iman on the day of Qiyamah and put it into Jannah also, inshallah.